everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video, so bear with me as I try to figure everything out. In today's video, I will be showing you how to crochet this adorable capybara. This pattern is perfect for your markets as it is quick to make and no sew. You can find the written pattern for this in my Etsy shop linked in the description. All of the materials I use will also be linked down below as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will be happy to help. Please do not copy this pattern and sell it as your own, as this pattern is copyrighted by me. Feel free to sell the finished plushies though, and be sure to tag me in any social media post you make with this capybara. With all that being said, let's get into the tutorial. To make this capybara, you will need some yarn. I use Premier Parfait Chunky. This is the color Toffee, and this is the color Acorn. You will also need a 5mm crochet hook. I use the Clover & More brand as I find this is the most comfortable for my hands, but feel free to use whatever you need to. You'll also need some stuffing, some safety eyes. These are 10mm, but you can use any size you want. You'll also need some scissors, needles, and also stitch markers. You can use a different yarn than what I recommend, but your plushie will turn out bigger or smaller depending on the yarn you use. The abbreviations will be listed on the screen. This tutorial is not for beginners, as in I will not teach you how to crochet, but I will teach you how to crochet this capybara, such as the pattern to make it, not the individual stitches themselves, but there are tons of YouTube tutorials out there to teach you how to crochet. Alrighty, let's get started. First off, we are going to start with the brown color, and we are going to start with magic ring. This is how I start my magic rings. You can always do the chain 2 method. It's whatever you prefer. We're going to start with 6 single crochet in a magic ring. If I am crocheting too fast for you, feel free to adjust the playback speed in the settings that YouTube has. After we finish the 6 single crochet in the magic ring, we will move on to round 2. Round 2, we will increase times 6 all the way around to give us 12 stitches. So increase is putting 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. All the way around. That is the end of round 2. In round 3, we will change to the color change to the next color, and to do that I will take out the last step of the single crochet, grab my second yarn, and just tie it on like so. I tie it a couple times just so that it doesn't come undone. Then cut off the brown yarn and continue on with the pattern. Round 3, we will crochet around in the back loop only. So if you can see here, we normally grab the first 2 loops. This time we're going to grab just the back loop and single crochet around in the back loop only, all the way around until you reach your first stitch. This makes the end nose piece flatter so that it looks more realistic. On to round 4, we will be single crochet in the first stitch and then increase in the next stitch, and we will continue that all the way around until we reach the end. At the end of this round, you should have 18 stitches. For the next round, we will be beginning to do the increases to begin the body shape, where it comes down like this. So those are a little bit trickier, but not super hard. So we're going to increase in the first stitch, first 2 stitches. We're going to single crochet 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then these last 2 stitches, you will increase in both of those stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 22 stitches all the way around. Feel free to pause the video if you need to catch up or repeat a section that we have already covered. In round 6, we will single crochet, increase, and then we will single crochet 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then we're going to single crochet and then increase. At the end of this round, you should have 24 stitches around. In round 7, we will begin to make the ears at around here. So first we will single crochet 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to color change, so I'm going to back up 1 step to where there's just 2 loops and attach our brown yarn. I will not cut off this lighter tan yarn because I don't want to have to reattach it in a bit. So I'm just going to let it hang back there and it'll be okay. Pull through with that color, and then we're going to double crochet increase, but in the front loop only. So that's 1 double crochet and then 2 to the increase. I'm going to wait until I have these 2 loops and then pull through with this other color to make it a clean color change. And then I'm going to leave this back here while I crochet because we still need to make 1 more ear. Then I'm going to single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3. And then for this last stitch, I'm going to bring this darker brown yarn behind, but still on top of my hook, and then pull through with that other yarn. And this kind of locks this yarn in place so that I don't have to tie on and tie off and cut and all of that. Pull through with this next color, double crochet increase in the front loop only again. When I get to this point with the 2 loops on my hook, I'll pull through with this color. And then we are going to single crochet 9, single crochet 9, but I am going to just finish this first single crochet, and then I will now cut off my brown yarn and tie it to this tan, because I'm done with it for this round, that way we won't have a bunch of yarn getting tangled in the back. So you can already see it's tangled up here. Now we will finish the rest of the 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have 9 right here. And then if this piece comes through where you tied off in the back, you can always take a needle, kind of just stuff it, and it will basically just disappear. Okay, in that last round, we should have about 26 stitches around. Since you increased here, you would have added 2 stitches, so 26. And then for round 8, we are going to single crochet 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to skip these 2 stitches, the dark brown ones, and we're going to go in that leftover back loop from when we went in the front loop to do these stitches in the last round. We're just going to single crochet. This kind of makes the ear pop forward. And then moving on to these brown stitches in here, we are going to decrease times 2. So decrease, I use the invisible decrease where you pick up both front loops from the stitches to decrease. Then there's 1 and 2. And then when we get to this point, we're also going to single crochet in the back loop, leftover back loop, to make these 2 stitches pop forward to look like the cute little ear. Then moving on to these stitches, we're now going to single crochet 7. So skip those 2 brown stitches, single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now your ears should be pretty centered with the stitch marker in the middle, like so. And at this point, I'm going to color change to this darker brown color to make the foot. But instead of going back a step, I'm just going to color change now. And this will make the bobble for the feet a lot more cleaner, and it won't have a little line show in the next round. So tie on that yarn, and then to bobble, you'll do like 5 incomplete double crochets. So here's 1, and then you'll have 2 loops on your hook, and we're going to go until we have 5. So 2, or that's 3, 4 loops, and 5. So now you have 5 loops on your hook, and then we're going to pull through with this other brown color. Okay, so I'm not going to fasten off here and tie on the yarn again. I'm just going to continue going until we make the next foot. And then for that last stitch, you're just going to single crochet 1. The bobble looks kind of weird right now, but you can push it forward, kind of move it, wiggle it like that to help it pop out. Okay, and then we are going to single crochet in the next round, round 9. We're going to single crochet 1. And then we're going to make our next bobble. At this point, you can kind of tell where your bobbles are going to land. They should land kind of even with the ears, just so that everything looks symmetrical. If they are off to the side due to your tension differences, then you can always move them, and any stitch that you see fit, just make sure that the end round number of stitches ends up the same. Okay, now I'm going to pull this other yarn through and do another bobble till I have 5 loops on my hook again. 4 and 5. I'm going to pull through with this color. Then I'm just going to single crochet 1 right here. And at this point, I will cut off this darker brown yarn and tie it together. This makes it to where it doesn't get tangled, and you don't have to worry about it until we make the next bobbles in a few rounds. So I'm just going to fasten off and tie it together so that it doesn't come undone. Okay, after this bobble stitch, I'm now going to single crochet 7. Since I already have 1, I'll be single crocheting 6, but it'll equal 7 stitches total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now those 2 decreases should end up right behind the ears to make this back slope down into the back. So if yours don't line up right here, so I'm going to use the next 4 stitches. If yours don't line up right there, you can always adjust how many stitches you need to make them line up. So I'm going to decrease times 2. 1, 2, and then you're going to single crochet into the end, which for me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's 9 stitches. Now, if you needed to move your decreases, you may not have 9 stitches right here, but your in total amount of stitches should be 20. So you can go ahead and count those if you would. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now we are going to be single crocheting around for 5 rounds, but before we do that, I'm going to insert my safety eyes. So grab those, and I insert the safety eyes between round 5 and round 6, about 4 stitches apart. So 1, 2, this is round 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to insert them in between 5 and 6, kind of below the eyes, like so. I think I'm going to go here. And as long as that looks lined up, then you can go ahead and place them there. There's about 4 stitches in between, like I said. But if you need to move them, or if you want to do embroidered eyes, you don't have to insert the safety eyes. You could just embroider them on later. But this is kind of where I think I want my eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and fasten those in the back. Like so. Then moving on to round 10. 10 through 14, you will just single crochet around one single crochet in every stitch until you have about 5 rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You should have 20 stitches in each round times 5 rounds, and I'll meet you back here when I have those rounds complete. Okay, so now I am at the end of round 14. So at this point, your capybara should be looking like this, almost the body done, and at this point, I'm going to take a little bit of my stuffing and put it in the head, since from now on it will be kind of difficult to reach the head. So I'll just add as much stuffing as I need until it looks full and plush. Okay, there we go. You can kind of move around the eyes and kind of manipulate where you want the stuffing to go. But once that is done, I'm going to continue on to round 15. So in this round, you will single crochet 19. So almost all the way around until the last stitch. $18 and $19. So now I'm going to add in my darker brown yarn because we're going to do the last feet. Just going to tie it on, and like before, I'm not going to go back and take out part of the stitch to color change. I'm just going to leave this loop on so that the bobble is even and doesn't have many color change. Oops. Okay. Yarn's getting all tangled there. Alright. Do my bobble till we have 5 loops on our hook. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to pull through with that other color yarn like we did before. And this was the last stitch in the round. And as you can see, my baubles are lining up like they should, which is great. And if they're not lined up for you, you can always adjust where you place them. But moving on to round 16, I'm gonna single crochet 2, leaving that brown yarn behind so that it's easier to color change later on. So 1 and 2, and pull that yarn behind. Okay, now I'm gonna make my next bauble. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull through with that lighter color. And at this point, you are just going to single crochet 17 around for me. I'm gonna single crochet 1 and then tie off this yarn again so that it doesn't get all tangled, and we will no longer need it. So set that aside and just single crochet until we get to the end. Pop out your baubles like so. And again, once again, make sure your baubles are lined up like so. And I'm going to single crochet to the end, which for me is 17 stitches. Okay, and this is the end of round 16, and like before, we should have 20 stitches around. So before we move on to round 17, I'm going to stuff the body just a bit more so that it's not as hard to stuff later. I don't want the stuffing all the way close to the top so that I don't catch any of that when I'm crocheting and it doesn't pull through the yarn and make all the polyfill come out, because that is never fun. Okay, and like that, you can see it's mainly stuffed up until this point. Then we're going to continue on to round 17. So for round 17, we're going to single crochet 2, and then decrease, and then we're going to repeat that for a total of 5 times until we finish the round. Like so. And then that is in the end of round 17, and you should have 15 stitches in the round. Now for round 18, we're going to single crochet and then decrease times 5 again until we reach the end of the round, and at the end of this round we should have 10 stitches. But once I get to about halfway around, I'm going to stop at this point and just finish stuffing while the hole is still decently big. Just finish stuffing that. Like so. And then I'm going to finish the round. And now I will have 10 stitches all the way around. So for round 19, our last and final round, we're going to decrease times 5 to the end of the round. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now at this point, I'm going to fasten off. And to do so, I slip stitch in the next stitch, pull through, and then I'm gonna pull this yarn through, cut it off, and then continue pulling it all the way through. And as you can see, it's fastened and it's not gonna come off. And then I'm going to take my needle and sew the end closed. I do so in the front loops only so that it creates a nice, smooth, and even finish. Just going in those front loops only until we get to the end. Then I'm going to go through and pull my needle out at a random stitch. And then as you can see, just kind of maneuvering the end to look a little bit flatter and nicer. And then I'm going to tie my yarn off in certain spots until I feel like it's secure. And then once that's done, like so, I'm going to pull my yarn out through another random stitch, like so. Maneuver the stuffing some more where I want it, and then stuff in that end. Okay, at this point in the video, I'm going to show you how I do the embroidery eyes. And so I'm just going to cut off a bit of this just generic lighter weight yarn and start with the embroidery. So I'm going to come in through a random stitch, and where I would like the eyes to be, it's right about here. And then I'll just kind of make a couple passes like so until the eyes are looking about like that. I'll do it twice to make the eye a little bit thicker. Then I'm going to come back up here. And I'm also going to try and do like little eyelashes. So I'm going to go embroider down a stitch. And then again up one stitch. And then I'm going to go out on the other side where I would like the other eye to be before I would fasten off. So there you have just this cute little embroidery eye with a little eyelash detail. And I'm just going to repeat that on the other side, trying to get them to line up about the same, going into the same rounds and things like that. Once again, doing 2 passes like so, then going down a stitch, up a stitch, and then I'm going to come out where that original yarn entered, or wherever I entered in through, come out about there. Make sure the eyes look good one more time. You can kind of pull out the yarn just a bit if you want it just a bit thicker. It'll kind of get hidden in the stitches over time. And I'm just going to tie these 2 ends together like so. And then stuff that end in the body so you no longer see it. And there you have it. Your adorable capybaras are complete. This one has the adorable embroidered eye detail, and this one has the safety eye detail, so you can see the difference and choose what you would like to make. And there you have it. Cute, easy, quick pattern to make that is perfect for your markets. If you are looking for more capybara patterns, I have another pattern here. And that is just a cute plushie version, and it also could be a lovey. So feel free to check that out. The link will be in the description. And then that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow this channel and have the ability to come out with many more tutorials in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.